That's Yogi Ramaiah, actually, what I came to know about him, that in all his life he gave different aspects of Kriya Yoga and Mantra Yoga. He taught like something around 2,000 people. But when I mean 2,000 students, it's like since beginning of 50s till the end of his life, 2006. It means more than 50 years. And as you may imagine, 2,000 students, it's just a very small number actually. But most of that students, they got from him some basic preliminary pranayama techniques, some of the mantras, and hatha yoga also, and maybe sometimes a few kriyas. And I can't say for sure, but according to what I know, that around approximately 10 people got from him, received complete Kriya Yoga tradition according to his school, which is like 18 techniques. And his lifestyle was like, I met him in the beginning of 90s, and the last time I saw him, it was 2000. I mean, approximately 5 years before he passed away. So that means totally I spent with him something like 10 years. And his lifestyle was like 3-4 months in the United States, then the rest is mostly in India, and sometimes in London, in Sydney, in Malaysia. Sometimes he visited that places. Actually, he was in Russia 3 times. The first time was 1989. So as I mentioned, that he went to Ural and Altai Mountains and Baikal Lake. So he went there with a couple of American disciples, and so it was a kind of hidden pilgrimage to the places, special, powerful, mystical places in that part of Russia. And later on he came something like 1993, then 1994 with some workshops. But anyway, it was some preliminary techniques, some mantras, hatha yoga, pranayamas, and sometimes once in a year he could organize in his medical hospital. It's like medical hospital and medical college. So the village where he was born, the name of this village is Kanatu Katan. It's a very famous place because of like a lot of rich Chettiar families stay there, and it's a really beautiful place, like more than 100 palaces with a couple of small temples. The main one, I think, Ganesha temple. And just the next village, as far as I remember, Atanur, the name of that village. So he established their hospital and college, and in that college, medical college, he also I think like it was like mostly every year, he organized like kind of 2 months yoga therapy training. And normally all of his normal boys and girls, that students, they participated in that, and some of like spiritual disciples as well. I think I took this course like 2-3 times. It was about pranayamas and hatha yoga, asanas, and how to heal or just improve different things regarding health. Yeah, I think it was nice. Yeah. And also once in a year, sometimes twice in a year, he could organize like mantra or meditation camp in different parts of India, mostly South India, but sometimes like in Himalayas as well. And normally like 50 or 80 people could participate, not so really many people. And for me it was a great experience to stay with him like that more than 1 month in Rameshwaram. Actually I told you, yeah, already. And anyway, it was interesting that I spent, yeah, I think 1.5 months there with him, but the program itself was only 1 week, so it means anyway I was fortunate enough to spend like really longer time with him in this very special place. And of course it was a time for the very important instruction, and then was the general program. Yeah, but anyway, Rameshwaram, yeah, it's a very powerful place and sweet memory for me personally. Oh, okay, these 18 asanas which Marshall Govindan is teaching is also a part of Yoga Ramaiah Hatha Yoga tradition, but it's not only the one. I think he was preaching like a couple of approaches to the Hatha Yoga, but yeah, that's also example. But you know, if we'll speak about Hatha Yoga tradition, not much difference. Okay, asanas are asanas, and of course we have a few general approaches, like in some Hatha Yoga schools they advise to stay in a posture like longer time. For example, in some traditions they may practice like, you know, just 5 asanas and spend 1 hour, but stay in each asana quite long time. In some schools they advise like many great number of asanas, but quite quickly to perform them. Yeah, I can't say that Yogi Ramaiah was speaking about like staying for a long time in each asana. So a number of asanas, and sometimes when I teach people like 3 days workshop, I'm always include some little bit Qigong, a little bit Hatha Yoga, but because as you may imagine, if people like spend whole day like Saturday evening, Friday, then Saturday, Sunday, like lectures, meditation, mantras, then they just need sometimes physical exercise, and for that purpose we practice. But normally I never like emphasize like, okay, this is, you have to memorize, you have to practice. Normally I keep focus on, okay, we have this meditation, this pranayamas, these mantras, and physical exercises I'm teaching like just, you know, without any paying attention to them.
Yes.
Actually, you know what, I may say that I'm not against all that certificates. I'm not against, but at the same time, if we speak about meditation and yoga, it's slightly funny when people trying to get one, because you know, if you really master, if you really know how to practice and how to teach meditation and mantras and Hatha Yoga and pranayamas, then actually you don't need this. And people anyway, they'll be happy to learn from you. And normally, you know, those people who are really trying to get all that certificates normally are the people who are not believing in themselves. If they are not sure, okay, how people will accept me or not, reject me, then they need these papers. And Yeah, I met quite quite many people who got wonderful certificates for Hatha Yoga or for Tai Chi, and they, you know, they were trying to teach people, but nobody came, because, you know, nobody is interested in your certificate, because everyone is interested in your personality. If you know how to teach, and if you're positive, good person with you know, good vibration, you know, then people will come, and so that's
yes, yes. But today in the West, I think there is two yogas. Yoga, like I always think it is like Yogananda described, and yoga, asana yoga.
You see, even in India now, many good and bad Western principles are introduced, and I met quite many young yoga teachers in India, and it was extremely funny, because they, first of all, they showed you all kinds of certificates from different ashrams, and they proclaimed that they know all kinds of yoga, and I'm ready to laugh, because what does it mean, you know all kinds of yoga? It means you are not less than Lord Krishna himself. Yeah, but they can't even understand that. But anyway, of course, in India they have a huge tradition, and people know that if it is like real, like sage or yoga master, that people that just teach people, and people happy because of wisdom and blessings, not because of some certificates.